So far, it was largely the philosophers who studied human consciousness, but a serious effort to understand consciousness and walk the path towards ultimate reality was made at the MIT World Peace University in the form of the world's first conference on consciousness, the ultimate reality.
Good afternoon all, Honorable Karad sir, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar sir, all the dignitaries, speakers and the delegates. A very good afternoon. We've been talking about consciousness since yesterday, and today also we spoke about various aspects of consciousness. And I get back to Dr. Ranade, does reality exist? I just want to tell you, all this what we talked about, when we think really, all these sensations of consciousness, all the aspects of consciousness, whether they exist or not, yes. When you think of the brain, I was just sitting here and then looking at the dome, which was really looking like the head of an individual, and with so many visionaries sitting here. And I thought in this hall itself, we can think of the parts which are responsible for consciousness. So with that, greetings from our institute, Dr. D.Y. Patil Medical College Hospital and Research Center. Now, what are anatomical substrates? All this time we were talking about so many aspects, quantum, post-quantum, then we talked about MI, we talked about AI, and then machine learning. But what are anatomical substrates are what really exists in the brain, neural substrates, which are parts of the nervous system. You must excuse me, I am using the language, and in medical language, all the terms are Greek and Latin. I'll make it more easier. We just want to see to it that you must know what are the parts in the brain that are concerned with consciousness. So that is the effort. So the part of central nervous system that underlies a specific behavior, a cognitive process, or any psychological stage. That means substrate is an underlying layer. That's what we are going to see. And cerebral cortex, that is in the brain, the layer that you see on top, which is the gray matter, cerebral cortex, is the principal anatomical basis of consciousness. And consciousness is a combination of, I always say that consciousness, is it a riddle? Is it an enigma? Is it difficult to understand? And when we see the structures, yes, sometimes we feel that, yes, what we are thinking as consciousness, to keep us awake, to make us aware, does exist. So the combination, verbal behavior, what I am saying now, arousal, brain activity, and movement, when you are asked to go somewhere, you go, the purposeful movement, all this are the parts of the brain which are concerned with the consciousness. Now this is just a picture of brain. I just want, most of you must be knowing, but this is how a brain looks. And you know that there are elevations and depressions, and these are called sulci and gyri. And you can see the one side of the brain, that is cerebral hemisphere. Below what you see is the small brain, that is cerebellum. And you can see the medulla with spinal cord that is extending down. And this is just to show that brain, which is with all those depressions and elevations, is divided into parts, into lobes. So when we talk of consciousness, we talk of what is called as frontal lobe, we talk what is called as temporal lobe, we talk what is called as the occipital lobe. So this is just to let you know or make you aware what is responsible for which part or which area in the brain for consciousness, whether it is awakeness or awareness. So this is how the parts are. And what you see in the blue area, or the light lavender area, is where the brain receives the sensations from different parts. And the one which is behind that is the one which conveys the association of these sensations. And you can see in yellow, that is the area. Now today I have met many of you whom I don't know. But after 5 years, 10 years, if I meet you, I will be able to recognize you. That is by the visual association area. And in green, what is shown is the area which can identify what you see. That is the visual area. Same thing, a little more in detail, you can just see, and what I wanted to focus is, on the left side of the hemisphere, there is a sulcus called lateral sulcus or Sylvian fissure. Close to that, we have what is called as the speech area, the area that is responsible for making us talk, speech. That is called Broca's area. In right-sided individuals, those who are right-sided, it is present on the left side, and in the left-sided individuals, it is present on the right side. This has got bearing later. So you can see the same thing, what you have been explained, and you can see the area close to the Broca's area, that is speech area just above, is the area for hearing, auditory, and what you see behind is the area for vision. This is just a basic understanding of what are the sensations that you can perceive. Now this is what you see when you separate the two hemispheres. You can see on the right side, to your right side, what you see when you cut the hemisphere into two, and the importance of that I'll tell you a little later. And what you see, the one below, is the entire brain, as if the brain is sitting on this floor. What you see above is the area which you can't see. What you are seeing is what is touching the floor, that is inside the skull. Now this active process of consciousness has got many components, multiple components. We have talked about so many aspects of consciousness. I must tell you that it is a combination of anatomy, physiology, and also philosophy, psychiatry. So many things are combined to understand consciousness. So what we are doing now is to know how much of it is present, how much of it we are thinking of, seeing to it that it is part of that which we must know. We have to see, like somebody talked about meditation. And Dr. Chowdhury talked about anesthetics, sleep, when we sleep, and then really when something happens, when we go into coma. So there are two major components. One is alertness and awareness. These are interconnected. Awake and alert, they are interconnected. And what is alertness? Alertness is wakefulness. And what is responsible for alertness? There is a system which is called as reticular formation. And the name that is given, those of you who read how we are alert, how we are awake, you will know that it is called ARAS, Ascending Reticular Activating System. Please only remember these words. It is not necessary that you must know everything, but just to know what are the anatomical substrates in the brain that are responsible to keep us awake and aware. Now this ascending reticular system, ARAS, it lies in a part of the brain called brainstem, and it lies in a part that is called thalamus. All of you remember that all the sensations going to the brain, they have to pass through thalamus.